Hey everybody, John Henderson here, the Beer Ramble back again. Another beer review. Today we're looking at Molson XXX Supreme Premium Beer. XXX by Molson is a unique beer that delivers a full flavor drinking experience with a cold, crisp, and clean taste. Our passion for quality beer began back in 1786 with John Molson, already first brewed in Montreal. Also Canadian. Super premium beer, 7.6 ABV. I got a nice pint. Thank you to Mr. John Anile. That's John Anile, Anile. You could catch his reviews on YouTube just by typing his name, John Anile, Anile. Thanks, John, for letting me know where this is. And again, how I got started on this, trying to find this, then one night he showed, he had Molson Ice, a bottle of it, when we're doing one of our Thursday night or Wednesday, Wednesday, or Friday night examinations, and showed that bottle. I was like, yes, I got to have it, I got to have it, I got to have it. So, anyway, 7.6, I guess you could say it's an adjunct lager. Maybe it's a malt liquor. 7.6, I guess, is past the adjunct lager category. Then I said the same about Steel Reserve 6%, and I thought it was an adjunct. I put it in my typing as adjunct lager, but oh well. Had this on ice for a couple of days. That's what the beer looks like, folks. I'm doing a lot of videos on my phone, guys. Maybe because the clarity of the video looks pretty good, you know. And uploading on my laptop and onto YouTube is like, you know, hey, this is damn clear. So yeah, it looks like a standard lager. Whatever it is about these standard premium lagers, maybe those high gravity lagers, you definitely get some fruit, some grapes, apples, and whatnot. Definitely some sugar in this. Yeah. I love the can, by the way. I love to see that the triple X. The triple X. Yeah, definitely some grape skins in this, man, but definitely some barley in this. But mostly a lot of corn. It has a syrup, sweet sugar scent, smell to it. Onto the infamous taste, of course. Then we have some carrots, some raisins. Apples, and again, as I mentioned, apples, raisins are something sugary, but it has that feel of a malt liquor. And I think some may look at it as a malt liquor. I don't, but this is superb. 7.6 Brewed, man. This is quite good. Molson as I mentioned, we've gotten a lot of them sort of been trickling down here. Obviously, if you live up in the north part of the United States, you know, on the border of Canada, you know, Minnesota, North Dakota, definitely throughout all the New England area, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maine, and then you go further down south, say New York and New Jersey, and maybe parts of PA, then of course Ohio, Michigan, of course. I'm sure Molson definitely trickles down in those areas quite frequently. So this is kind of the first, I think maybe, I'm not sure, I didn't really get a chance to ask John that question, when did Molson begin to kind of put a lot of their other brand of beers towards, the South, or more so in that area. We get Molson Canadian. I think everybody pretty much gets that easily. I know we get it here. But some of the other brands, the Golden Ale, a couple other brands that Molson has out there, I know. I'm sure pretty much if you live up northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, New England, in that area, parts of the Midwest, like upper Midwest, I'm sure those beers are readily available. But this is the kind of first time we're getting, outside Molson Canadian, the lager, or Labatt Bleu, of course, another brewery. We can pretty much get this beer. We don't get some of the other stuff that they put out. So this was sort of a eye opener for me. I said, I've heard so much about it. I got to get XXX. So I bought 2 cans. I got another can in my cooler, and which I'm going to savor sometime, maybe this weekend, I guess. Later on, just in the house, but yeah, this is a pretty, very good lager. Crisp, super ice cold, and like I said, I had this in the cooler all day. Iced it, and it's really living up to that feel right now. It's just perfectly well balanced brew. Love the texture of it. It's going on smooth. Yes, a little bit strong. I mean, I'm not putting this in categories of malt liquor. Some may do so. I'm not one that's going to do that. So I'll look at it as just a straight up lager. Again, as I mentioned, MolsonCoors now. SAB Miller had to divest itself from Molson when SAB Miller had divested itself of all the Miller brands and also some of the MolsonCoors brands because of their acquisition being bought out by Anheuser-Busch InBev. So now MolsonCoors has all the Miller brands in their umbrella right now. And I think the headquarters are split between, their world headquarters split between Denver, Colorado, Montreal, or maybe Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Montreal, Québec, Canada, and other spots. So, so their global headquarters. So right now it is, of course, some of their other breweries where they split most of their beers. It's kind of funny how that works out. Miller Coors, Molson Coors, and they divest themselves. But when you go on the website with Miller Coors, you still see some Molson Canadian beer. You see the Molson Canadian beer portfolio, and then again you go to Miller, go to the Molson Coors site. You see all the Molson brands, and you even see Coors Light. So I don't know how that arrangement is all put together. I mean, Ronald J. Terrio probably knows more about that than I do, but just from what I've read online of who owns what, this to that and to this and that, it's just mad confusing. But anyway, but it doesn't matter because I love the beer. So I did a review the other day of the Molson Ice, and I thought it was just phenomenal. And this, I'm kind of going to give this the same thing with the XXX. My first time having it, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm going to savor the rest of it, put it in the freezer. I'm going to go lay down and just enjoy the evening sipping this. But this is a pretty good beer and super premium. Definitely what I would say about this. No preservatives, a pint. And this probably didn't cost me a lot of money for this. So yeah, smooth, decent. Just pretty good for beer, in my opinion. Molson XXX, it is excellent to me. I'm gonna give this thing a 9 for the style, so that is maybe 9.2. So I guess maybe close to A plus. 8.9 is an A minus, but 9.2. So that'll be an A or A plus, depending on how you grade it. So Molson XXX, very good, very clean, very enjoyable lager to have, or ale if you want to call it that. If you live in Texas, consider it ale. And most malt liquors, I don't know. But maybe it's a malt liquor. I call it an adjunct lager or extra strong beer. So, phenomenal. But anyway, that is my score. John Henderson here at the Beer Ramilton. Keep on watching as always. Cheers. Molson X. The X. Where's the spot?